So it looks like we got the sound issues fixed from last time. All we had to do was unplug everything and plug it back in. So, welcome back, everybody. And we're going to, let's see. We've been working on the water levels, but one thing that I really want to do is add what I call the bubble power up, which is something that will allow you to swim underwater. So last time we sort of added this thing, and I'll show it off just because I can, and maybe people haven't seen it. Where's Snowball? Do we not have a Snowball anymore? Did I accidentally delete Snowball? Let's see. I guess I must have. There, let's put him back in there. So let's go ahead and show this off real quick. So as you can see, this little glacier thing floats there. And as soon as we jump on it, it starts to sink, which is what we expect. And as we jump up, it rises up again. So it's a little glacier effect. So it's like it's floating in water, kind of. And similarly, if we jump into the water ourselves, you'll see that we float in water too. So we rise up to the top. But what I want to do is have it so that you can actually swim. And that you can swim without getting hurt. So let's figure out how we're going to do that. So first off, let's create a water object to hold all this water so we don't have to look at it. Okay. And we can put that within the level. There we go. Objects, enemies, teleporters. Okay, I'll go right there. Don't need that. And put that there as well. There we go. So save, and then let's get started. I want to adjust the boundaries of the level so that it's more like this is the top, and then I want it so that it's more along the lines of you have to jump into the water in order to move on to the next part of the level. So it's going to be something like this. It gives you just a little bit of a walkway to do stuff on. I mean, really, maybe we don't even need that much of a walkway. Just something like that. And then just bring him down here. It really doesn't matter because at the start he snaps to the floor anyway, but okay, so that's how it's gonna look. But let's bring this over here just to sort of prove that there is no other way than to go down into the water. You can't really see it from there, but yeah. So let's make the water bigger like that, maybe 50 by 50 or something like that. And there we go. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a power up. So this is the super power up. And this turns him into Super Snowball. But what I want to do is I want to make a new power up that's specifically going to turn him into something that can swim. I'm calling this a bubble. So the idea is that he's going to be encased in a bubble, you know, which is going to let him swim underwater, or at least shoot himself underwater, like project himself forward, propel himself underwater. So, but he's not actually going to be a bubble. He's just going to be in one. So this is a placeholder graphic. So maybe grab something else. What else is there? I just need something. It's not important at all what it actually looked like, but there, we'll go with that. Okay. Actually, no, wait. I have a circle, don't I? There. Well, that's not exactly what I wanted, but ball. It's called ball. All right, there we go. So, yeah, this is going to be our pretend power up right here. It's going to have a circle collider. Alright, so far so good. Now the only issue is that even when we grab this power up, it's going to not do the thing that we want it to do. If we can grab it at all. It needs to be trigger. There we go. So yeah, so now we're super powered. But again, that's not really what we want. Alright, so we're going to need to go into the code now and figure something out. So let's get rid of some of these useless files we don't need. Okay. So we have Oh, well, it's here actually. It's in the game controller for some reason. Uh, oh, I know why. It's because I was making it available from the settings menu. So this is super mode, and I wonder how many times we use this. So we use it quite a lot. Let's see. Let's just get rid of it and move all this code into Snowball's file. Yeah. Okay, so this erase data function is completely wrong. So maybe we could actually just deal with this right now anyway. Let's see. We're gonna do file manager dot erase file. Or delete. Yeah. Well, okay, that's a little redundant. Oops. I know what I should have done. I should have. Well, no, file name equals name, so. Okay, so here's what we do. We just, when we say delete, or no, when we say erase file, then we're going to take in nothing, and we're going to say, actually, we're going to do public void erase current file, and so then we delete current save data dot file name, and that will do exactly that, I think. So there we go. That might need some additional stuff to fix it up later on, but that's enough for right now. So, because the point is that we're going after super mode, not the erase data mode right now. So don't worry about any of this. We're just going to get rid of this stuff. Okay. So toggle super is it called ever? It's only called when we get the power up. But it references this variable here, and this could actually just be local variable. So we'll just make it one. Because what I'm trying to do is make it so that we have a super mode, but then we're also going to have our bubble mode. And based on whatever mode that the player is in, his physics will respond accordingly. So really we could just call this toggle physics mode. It's probably more accurate. It's what we want to do. Actually, toggle doesn't make any sense. So let's just say set physics mode, and we'll come up with a new type of variable called the physics mode. Okay. So we can go back up here and we can do public enum Actually, I wonder if there's already a class called physics mode. Let's see. No. Okay. So there we go. So when we touch the power up, do it like this for right now. If other dot name equals super, do that. Else if other dot game object dot name equals bubble. Okay. So that works, and really I'm thinking this might be better off if we break all this stuff down into components that we put on the objects themselves, but I don't know if that's going to be cost effective in the long run. But yeah, so set physics mode, what does that do? So physics mode, actually, public physics mode, yay, there we go. Is that how you spell physics? For some reason that doesn't seem right. I guess it is. It's weird. It's one of those times where I'm staring at a word for so long it just stops making sense. But yeah, physics mode. And we'll set the mode here as well. Okay. Actually, this is, yeah, that's not really a relevant file, but right here we go to, whoops, physics mode equals mode. And then we can check to see if physics mode. So basically we're going to check to see what it is that we just set ourselves to. And if it's not any of these, then it's just the normal. Well, Yeah. So if it's not any special physics mode, it's just going to be the normal one. And then, well, let's just see that this works at all. Is there any super mode left over? Yeah, there is. Yeah, we don't need that. Okay. Now let's head back out here and see if there are any problems. Okay. So there are a few more spots that we missed. Let's see. Again, this is all pretty straightforward stuff. Alright, now there's only 2 left. This doesn't matter because yeah, that doesn't matter at all. And then, actually, we can just get rid of that. And then the last one is over here. If, where's this at? If other dot game object dot component snowball dot super, what? Wait, what? Dot. What is super physics? Oh, I know what that is. Dot physics mode equals. Okay, there we go. So this is the insta-kill. Okay. So we can head back here now, and it all should work. So we got 2 here. There's, well, now we got 3, so we can test this out. Now need to be triggers, of course. Forgot to set that. But so first one should become super mode. Yep. And second one, he becomes bubble mode, which does nothing. And that one, he's neither. Okay, so what's going on here? Okay, I see what's going on. We're not actually setting it to normal. So if it's some other kind of power up, then we just go back to being normal. Okay, and then in the bubble mode, okay. So what we want to do when we're a bubble is we want to change our gravity to 0 because there's no, well, is there gravity underwater? I mean, there is gravity, it's just not as, yeah, there is gravity. The only issue is that well, but not really though, because if you're okay, in video games there isn't gravity. Well, I don't know. When you're playing a Mario game, like there's still something that, you know, if you let go of the controller, Mario falls down to the bottom. But if you're playing a, yeah, it's not very fast though. So we do need some gravity. It's just not going to be very much. And we're not going to have our super particles active. So let's just set those to false. The intensity of our launch power, I guess, could be normal. Now the only other thing we need to do is make it so that you can launch yourself through the water wherever you are. So we need to go to the part where we can do this. Yeah, I guess is grounded, I could say. And you could just say we are grounded if super mode or physics mode equals physics mode dot bubble. So if that's the case, then that means we can always jump at any time, I think. I don't know if that's going to break anything else, but yeah. Now the catch is we also want to make sure that this doesn't allow us to do anything outside of water, but we can deal with that when we fix everything else. So this will enable super mode, or maybe it won't. These little things. There. Okay, there we go. So this first one will enable super mode, the second one will get rid of it. And the third one will make us a bubble. Okay, so a few things there. So whenever we come into contact with water, we want to do this. If physics mode is not equal to physics mode dot bubble, only then do we do any of this stuff. So when we go back here, you'll see that as soon as we get the power up, we're going to be able to swim through water as we expected to. Okay, so yeah, a little too much gravity, I think. I thought we changed gravity though. Yeah, gravity keeps going back up. Why is that the case? Oh, well, it's right there. If So let's just add a little catch here. I don't know why. That doesn't make any sense why we have that in the first place. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay, this is for something else. I haven't shown off the launch pads yet, I don't think. But that's for them. Because the launch pads will launch you in a certain direction regardless of gravity. And so whenever you hit a wall, it brings the gravity back. But we don't want to do that if we're in a bubble. Okay, so it's still 0.5 gravity. Maybe it could be a little bit less. So I say less gravity and less intensity as well. So you'll fire yourself at a less intense rate. Okay, that's not exactly what I want either, though. I want it so that, you know, you get like a little push, but then it slows you down, kind of like what we had going on before. So let's bring the intensity back up, but then we're going to have to change how this interacts with everything. So I want a similar kind of effect as this. So we're not going to worry about most of this stuff. The only thing that we need to change is this part down here, I think. So the force that we want to apply is going to be opposite the direction of our, not gravity, but of our velocity. I think. Well, let's just try that out for a start. There we go, that's exactly what I wanted it to be. Except we need to go further. But that's pretty much what I want it to be. Let's see if reducing the damping makes it go further. Perfect. That is exactly what I wanted, sort of. I wonder if it's proportional to the water level by accident. It seems like it is. Yeah, I don't want that to happen. So yeah, so it's see, so this is a function of our distance underwater, because the water level is, you know, where that is, but really what we need to do is just take it as the water level like that, so that it's consistent and it's constant across wherever we are in the water. It's going to affect us the same regardless of where we are underwater. Okay. Then the last thing I want to do is add some more intensity to the force there. So let's go back up here. And just make our intensity like 12 or something. So it should hopefully propel us rather far. Underwater. And then bring us to a stop. Okay, that might be a little too fast. Unless we go back and increase the damping. Because that might work. If the damping is increased, then it's going to slow us down a little bit faster. So we're just getting the values right, just playing around until it works. Let's have that, and then let's go back to the intensity. Where was that at? Go back to 8. Okay. Let's see what happens if we do this. I'm really just messing with the values right now. That's better. Let's try it again. Slightly different value this time. Trying to make it so that it's very, very, very slow, gradual deceleration. Just gotta keep adjusting the values until you get something. Really what I could have done is I could have made them values on the inspector and I could adjust them while I was playing the game, but okay. That might be too much. But see, you can't do that unless it's a variable that the class has, and these are function variables. So I'd have to make it like that, I think. Okay, see, so if it's really small like that, then this is exactly what I want. You just barely float all the way over there. So let me adjust this again. So we're at an intensity of 3 and a bounce dampening of 0.05, I think. Oops, that was an accident. Oh, come on. There we go. See, that seems pretty natural, I think. Maybe a stronger dampening. So 0.1 now. So he'll slow down twice as fast. I can slow down a little bit faster. So probably by the end of the first hour we'll have this working. And then the second hour we can make the level. Or at least part of the level. He's definitely more free floating here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, the only catch is we need to make sure that this only happens while he's underwater. Actually, well, that's a really easy thing to do. So we go back here, I think, and we can just check else if transform.position.y is less than or equal to water level. And I think that just does it right there. It only applies the physics if we're beneath the water level. Look at what gravity changed. Okay, so let's see. One thing we could do is check to see if we're above. Well, but that's the problem though. It's like, okay, if we ever go underwater, then that means like we'd have to set a bool to see whether or not we're underwater or something. And then if we are underwater, only then do we apply the gravity. Or, I have a better idea. We just apply the gravity here. So instead of applying those changes when we grab the power up, we just apply these changes when we're down here. So there we go. Okay, so that's so far so good. That's good. And it's perfect. So that works exactly as we wanted, I think. Other than this, that's not good. But yeah, the rest of that's pretty good. I think if this might work, actually. If we just do that, basically consider that our double jump. Instead of doing this, because that really messes with things. If we just say that we get our double jump back, then yeah. Yep, okay. Alright, so that works. Perfect. Now, what I think would be really cool is if his face rotated, depending on where you aimed the thing at, but that's not going to be something that we do tonight. Whoops. Didn't mean to leave the scene there, but okay. So we're back here now, and this is our bubble power up. And we're going to be able to survive underwater. Now, actually, I was thinking, got an idea just a few seconds ago. What if the bubble like runs out? What if there's a time limit on how long you can be underwater and you have to collect other bubbles to stay that way? That could be pretty crazy. Otherwise, you start taking damage and floating back up to the surface. So let's add a new object and we'll call it a generator. And we're going to give it a new script and we're going to call it a generator. Because we're going to need one of these at some point. So let's put it in our script folder. Keep everything organized. Come on, come on. Close it all up. Put these things in our script folder. Darn it. Okay, and now let's open up generator. So within the generator, we're going to say basically that there's a game object that we want to generate. And we want to generate every certain amount of time. Next gen time. And we'll just set the default to be 1 second. And so void update if time.time is greater than oh wait, public float. We need two variables. One is for okay. So if it's greater than the next time, then what we do is we say the next time is going to be equal to time.time plus the dt. So actually I should say next dt. Okay, there we go. So this is extremely generalized code for everything that I've used a generator for in the past, like the guys who spawn coal. I use the same sort of idea, and so let's see. So every time that we do get to the next time, we're going to want to spawn object. So game object dot instantiate object, and it's going to be this dot transform. Well, I guess that's debatable whether we want it to be that way, but good enough, I guess. Probably good enough, yeah. And I mean, that's about it. Now we're gonna need another script though, and that's gonna have to go on the bubble. Do I have it though? Do I already have this made, or do I need to make one? Probably not. Okay, we're just gonna add we're just gonna say, what should I call this? Move. I want it to move like in a direction. Does that mean it needs a rigid body as well? Because that would give it a velocity. Or I could just say the position.y is going to be equal to something else. I want the bubbles to shoot in a direction, and we specify the direction. I'll just say motion. Projectile motion. That's the best I got. So we'll call it projectile motion. And we head back in here. So what I want to do is this bubble is going to go up in some direction. Vector 2 direction. And simple as that, we're just going to do transform.position plus equals direction. So this is unaffected by gravity. Completely unaffected by gravity. And we're going to need public float, expire time. And so we're also going to do if time.time is greater than expire time, then we're going to just destroy ourselves. And at the start, we're just going to say expire time equals time.time plus expire time. So that's it. And maybe we'll say this has a default value of 1 second or 2 seconds maybe. Or 3 seconds. Okay. And so that's as simple as that. So the bubble is going to be something that we, oh, there's an issue. Can't add a vector 3 to a vector 2, okay. Just call it a new vector 3. Okay, that's not a big deal. Okay, so now we should be getting some options here. So I want this to go up and disappear after 3 seconds. So prefab, bubble, okay, and generator, generate these bubbles, and generator is going to be right there. Can get rid of that bubble, and hopefully we should start seeing bubbles popping up out of the ground. Well, that's what I wanted. Oh, I bet I know why. It's because, yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. So just grab one of these things. Okay, well, what's the deal? Um, thought that that would work. Oh, because it's a clone. It's a clone now. I need to make one adjustment to the code here. See, this would be better if it was inside of the other objects, because then it wouldn't matter if it was a clone or not. But yeah, I think that ought to fix it. And then the generator, well, that's just a generator. But yeah, we don't really need to make that a prefab or anything unless we really want to. It's a clone with a capital C, so that matters. Really, I mean, like I said, it'd probably be better if you coded it so that it was from within the bubble itself, so that when the bubble collides with Snowball, it gives Snowball his power, but I don't know. It works this way just as fine. What the heck? There we go. I think I messed that up. Okay, no, we're fine. Okay. Yeah, so that's better. 0.5, and then with the bubble, it can just go for once, maybe 1.5 seconds. So maybe make the bubbles bigger as well, so it's easier to grab them. It's way too big. Oh, I know what I did. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I think we've got the bubbles working as well as the bubble power up, minus the fact that it's time limited. I don't know how to display that though. Maybe, you know, as long as he has the bubble on him, it actually shows the bubble around him. That was my first thought. And maybe whenever the time starts to run out, the bubble vanishes. I mean, that seems like a good idea, so let's just go with that. And then once we finish that up, then we can start working on the level. Okay. Okay. So then jump in here. So whenever we grab the bubble power up, we're going to say bubble time equals time plus, I don't know, let's just say 5 seconds just to test it out. So we'll go for 5 seconds and then you'll run out of a bubble. So then we'll go back up here, put bubble time as a thing. It's a variable. Private float bubble time. And where's our update function? Well, actually, we could add a reference to the particles. Where's the particles? Yeah, because I added a reference to that there, so private game object bubble shield. So bubble shield goes transform.find bubble shield game object. So go back and make sure that it's named correctly, and then I guess that works. Just need to set active false. And then next, yeah, bubble time. So we'll set this active to true. And then if wait, what's remove particles? Oh, just update. If time is greater than bubble time. Oh, if physics mode if physics mode equals physics mode dot bubble and time dot time is greater than bubble time. Bubble shield equals dot set active false, and then we're gonna turn off the physics mode. So yeah, set physics mode dot normal. So simple as that, I think should work. Why is the line beneath the wall now? It's weird that that made it change the line render layer. And it changed it again too. What the heck? I don't quite get that, but okay. So we got our bubble. We're doing good. Yep, perfect. We get that. We're doing good again. Yep, okay. Perfect. So a couple things. I want to add a bubble sound eventually, whenever the bubble pops. But there's that, and then we're going to figure out why that changed the lines render layer. That didn't make any sense why that happened. Maybe it needs to be there, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened. It's weird. But aside from that, it all works. The only other thing we need to do is change the time. So we'll do private const float bubble time equals I don't know, 10, should it be 10 seconds? No, probably 20 seconds. So you have your bubble for 20 seconds. Yeah, I don't get that. The lines, they were working until I added that to them. I wonder if I go to a different scene that it'll work again properly. Yeah, so that works perfectly. Let's go to a different scene. I'll just make this a public game object and see if that changes anything. Okay. So that works. If we go back here, okay. Yep, I don't know why that broke before. But now it's working, so we're all good. Just need to disable that to start with, and then probably be fine. Now we can actually start working on the level. Alright, everybody loves water levels. So, it's actually going to be the first water level I've really ever designed outside of like a Mario hack or something like that. Because I've designed levels for Mario hacks, it's just... Let's just say this is the first original water level that I've ever had to make. Okay, so first thing, we should probably just get rid of this entirely. Because this is just going to be the seafloor. And then we can grab this thing over here and make this into what I had before. So something like that. I mean, I guess we could go further down first before coming back up. Okay. And by the way, last time when I put music on, uh, I noticed that Twitch auto-detected what music it was playing and muted it during the archive, so probably not going to play music if they're going to mute parts of the video. So feel free to play your own music while I'm silent. There's not a whole lot to talk about while I'm just messing around with this kind of stuff. I'm just kind of basically just messing around, like I said. We're going to go, we have options to go left or right, then you go down, and then you go back up, really far up, I guess. And maybe you have some optional path you can take down this way. Need to get rid of all this stuff because I want most of the level to be sort of below the ground.